All right, I think we're live.
Yay.
So we are live with Aimee, and you joined in January, right?
Yeah,
Align Tribe?
it's coming up on the year, like the
Yeah,
anniversary.
yeah. And so you came to my retreat in Bali, and then got a taste of some of the habits. So tell me why you originally joined. What were you looking for?
Oh gosh. I think I think it must have been during the retreat. You did a bit of a talk about the habits and about Ayurveda. And that was kind of like the defining moment for me where I realized I wanted to do it. I had It was actually through Kate Hudson's book, one of her books. That's
Yeah.
when I first heard of Ayurveda, started to learn about it. And that was about a year before the retreat. But when I did the dosha quiz, I didn't do it right. And I got all the answers were pointing to a dosha that just didn't resonate with me. And I didn't understand why, it just didn't feel right for how I would bring myself into balance. So I just abandoned it completely.
Yeah.
But when you were giving your talk in Bali, one of the things you said, I just remembered, you said when you're doing the dosha quiz, make sure you're answering it for how you've always been throughout your whole life, not just what you're feeling in the present moment. And when I did that, I got a completely different answer, and suddenly things made sense.
Yeah.
To achieve quote unquote balance, it was all the things that, if I was tuning into myself, it's what my body and my mind and everything was telling me from the beginning. And I just fell in love with that aspect of Ayurveda, that it just made sense. And that's why I wanted to do Align and Thrive, was just to dive more deeply into that. I had no idea, like many of your students probably experience, what you go into isn't necessarily what you're coming out with, but it's the best way possible.
So what were the results that you got from it? Like what changed?
I think it was a big, like I would call it almost like an identity change in a way. I grew up and lived my life just thinking that I was kind of this person who loved being busy and very creative mind, lots of ideas, flitting from thing to thing, just kind of an erratic person overall. And I just lived that through and through. And it never really occurred to me that that was not necessarily what I really truly was meant to be doing, but I fought routine because routine felt boring to me, and I felt it would make me mundane. And it was truly that fight which was causing all of the problems that I had been experiencing. And dialing back and actually trying to do the same thing every day in many of the cases it was an identity change for me. But it has made me it has unlocked everything. I feel so much different now than when I had gone into the course, personality wise, health wise, everything. And I think it was just because of routine. And I don't believe that it makes me boring at all. It was a limiting belief for sure. But it has truly unlocked me, like my ability to be at my best all the time. And it just doing something as simple as having a routine.
I know. It's so funny how we resist that. And as adults, we have freedom to make our own schedules. And it's not like kids where it's like, they need that structure. A lot of time as parents, you create that structure because they do so much better with structure, but adults do so much better with structure as well. And it's not so much that like every day is the same, but I think it's like the automation of certain things for me enables like more creativity. And I feel more creative because I'm not wasting all that like mind space or decision making on certain things, like how I start my day, how I end my day, and even certain aspects of like just my workflow. But then I can really be in the flow or in the moment in those routines.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it's sort of like how you show up to all of it as well, right? Like
yeah.
nothing, my career didn't change from a year ago.
Yeah.
My hobbies haven't changed. My social circle hasn't changed.
Yeah.
But how I'm showing up to those things has. And I was fueled by coffee and I was jittery and I was talking at a mile a minute all the time and not really having a lot of fluidity with my ideas and my brain. And yeah, I think I've noticed even coworkers and people they've started to notice and commented. They say like, you seem a lot more chill,
grounded. Totally.
Yeah.
It is very grounding. It's, and you're a lot of what you're saying is like there was a little bit of a vata imbalance going on, where just like the busyness, the erratic, and that's such a cultural thing, which is I think why it's so hard to, like, we identify with that so much, and that's so much a part of culture's identity of like busy equals you're valuable and you're desired and you're needed and you're significant, and so we kind of hang our hat, our worth on how busy we are, or how much we have to do, or how full our schedule is, which is just like crazy.
Yeah. And even, like considering health too, I think that a lot of what I was doing, I've always been interested in health and I've wanted to be a healthy person, always.
Yeah.
There really never a time where that didn't resonate with me, but it was always geared towards preventing illness and not just being generally well. And I think when you make that shift, especially in Ayurveda, like it's just about finding that sweet spot. And once you've sort of balanced yourself out a little bit, it all just falls into place. And I haven't gotten sick this year, and I didn't even, it's not that I've been popping vitamin C and all the things
totally. You're not wearing yourself out, which is, I think, the norm of the busy, the whole paradigm of the busy, hyper caffeinated, overstimulated, over scheduled, just wears us down, and our immune systems get weakened, and then we get, so much more vulnerable to getting sick. Yeah, I know the flu hit our house and I was like, oh my God, I can't get sick. Like I have a webinar tomorrow, and I'm like, I'm not sick. And I went through, everyone was throwing up and like out for a day or two. And so far. But yeah, you're right. I haven't gotten sick in years too. And I used to get sick and stay sick for like weeks at a time, I remember.
I truly believe that it's just like this simple act of taking care of yourself is
totally. I know.
System now. I understand that now. And when that kind of falls out of balance, that's where you start to see those things crop up.
Where did you go?
Oh, did I lose you?
Oh, there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You're back.
My trusty internet connection.
Oh, it's saying my internet connection is unstable. It might be mine.
Oh no.
Okay. I think we're good. Yeah. So I think we're good. Okay, go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh,
do you remember? So and I think a lot of what makes the program so effective is having accountability and support. Because I know for me, it's like things that are free or things that I've signed up for that I'm not fully invested, because it requires, like, to make an identity shift is a big deal. Like it takes a lot of, I mean, to change anything is hard, but identity, I mean, I think it starts really with identity. It starts and ends there. But I think when you're committing to something like a program like this, and you have support and you have, a mentor and all the accountability and the community to fall back on, it's so much easier to make those identity shifts and those changes. So do you want to speak to that, like how it was having the support system?
Definitely, because I think just the nature of it is that everyone's kind of there for their own reason, but that's kind of what makes it work. I found, at least, having a mentor, that really helped sort of tailor back what we were learning and customize it to fit into your life, because that was the only way it's going to be ultimately sustainable, is if it's something you
Totally
can do in your life.
Yeah.
So like that helped a lot. And I think even hearing stories from the others in the group helped with that as well. Sometimes there was somebody going through, maybe finding an obstacle or some resistance in an area, and maybe it's something that you had gone through before, or you didn't even realize you were going through it, but that can only sort of cement those beliefs that you're starting to bring into yourself, right? That's what I think is most beneficial, especially verbalizing it. That is part of it. It's part of that journey that I think you don't get if you just read an article about
or a book or
why you should be meditating right now, and but it doesn't mean anything to you until you start sharing your experience with how that meditating every day.
Yeah, totally. Uh-oh, you froze again. Yeah, and I think also you said something really important, is the whole like customizing it for your own life and for, what's doable for you and actually what you're even interested in doing. Because I think it's not like everybody has to do this routine exactly like this and everybody's going to do it the same way. Not at all. I think, we all have to, like, we're given these tools, and it's like, how do you want to build them into your life? Oh, you're still frozen. I hope you're still there. Oh, internet. White horse internet, all the way up there. All right, so I think you're frozen. I don't know if you're coming back, so we'll just end here. Thank you so much. Oh, there you are. Could you hear me that whole time or no?
Nope.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your experience, and it's so nice having you in the community, and also you've been a mentor too, and that's like the ongoing learning and just being in the community, just continue to grow and learn and develop the habits and refine them.
Yeah, anytime. Sorry for all the technical
all
whatever,
good.
but I want to say thank you, because I think that you're the reason that a lot of us start doing this work, and it's so valuable. And to anybody even considering it, don't second guess that decision, because you won't regret it.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. All right, I'll see you soon.
You bet. Bye.
Bye.